guess we're gonna do another one just to show you guys. Day 5, and I think we're pretty wrapped up with everything. So on day 5, we gotta address the radiator and the coolant lines. So we're getting to a point where we can turn this car on, and we need to finalize things. So coolant lines, this oil line is the last one that needs to be connected right here, but we're waiting until the radiator's mounted to route that. And then the missing fittings that we needed to finish the fuel lines are right here. So we're looking pretty good. The only thing that we don't have is an engine harness, which is what is going to stop us. So whether the harness is done is the first start, you know. So I think we're feeling pretty good that whatever we need is going to be done.
So 20Bs push everything forward. And if you look at right now, the normal location for the radiator is right here. Come here, buddy. Look at the water pump hitting the radiator. So I have to cut the water pump here now and angle away from the radiator so I can actually get the line on. Last night we did the end tanks, but we didn't finish this side, so we have to mark that side really good. Make sure the inner core, because it's gonna stay right here. So if anything moves, just mark it so we can be sure. And right now we're about to do the radiator, so it's already mounted in the front only, so now I have to pick up the back and remount the back. But the issue we're having is that the water pump, being that the engine is so far forward now, the water pump's almost touching the radiator, so I have to cut the water pump, angle it away from the radiator, and then we should be good. So you have to cut and block this off, we don't need it no more. And we have to modify the radiator towards the back to have a new outlet, in and outlet.
All right, so we're at the end of day 5.
Little defeated.
Little defeated. We ran out of gas for the welder, so the downpipe is pretty much that's all that's welded. We still got to weld all this, got weld all that, got weld all this. Air gas is closed on the weekend, so we can't get a bottle. So what John's gonna end up doing tomorrow is he's gonna go stay, instead of going back to Florida, he's gonna stay tomorrow, and he's gonna stay through the weekend and finish his car. Our buddy Nick Collier, he's gonna get us a bottle this weekend, and we just gotta drive like a couple hours to go pick it up, but it should be enough to finish this car. So it's really not much more left to it. It's just coolant lines and modify the radiator a little bit. But other than that, I mean, this car is pretty complete. We're missing the engine harness, which is getting done by someone else. That's probably gonna be done next week, and we're not gonna stay waiting for a harness for the next week. So I'm heading back, and John's just gonna stay and wrap up. So as far as the build, this car came out amazing. So I mean, everything just flows so well. It looks so clean.
So inspired by PPRE.
Yeah. So give us a thumbs up. Thumbs up right here. The next part, like I said, is gonna be John. So that wraps up. Yeah, he still has to mount the power steering pump, which is gonna end up somewhere over there. It's not gonna fit through there, but it's gonna end up somewhere over there. But for me, that's it. Next time you see me, it's gonna be when we're tuning this car. Back at TJ's shop, and pretty much we were supposed to come back and wrap up this car and do some base tuning. We have a pretty huge issue, and it was that this rear plate had somebody had tapped it, and they had threaded it. So the rear heater core, which I'll show you on this new one, this line was not here and it was threaded. So it looks like when this cap got installed down here, it put a crack on it, and then when the guys tried to weld the crack back, it ended up cracking it even more, and a whole piece is missing. So we're gonna pull the engine out. We're gonna swap the rear plate to the new plate. So while it was in, we got this shipped to Virginia. I did all the machine work, did the porting, and we even got one with a bigger dowel landing. So this plate is way stronger than this one over here, which you can see the dowel area is a little bit smaller. So these are actually the strong ones. Our job for today is change that plate with the new one and turn the car on again and pretty much get it ready, because we can't tune it with a coolant leak. So we're gonna take care of that. All right, so I have the engine out. Really not sure how this happened. There's like no stress points or anything like that. I mean, I know it was threaded in the past, but it wasn't threaded by us. So I don't know if it's an old thing, like that crack being there. But regardless, the motor's out and we just gotta swap that plate in. So I don't have this socket here, so I'm gonna have to go get one, probably at a Harbor Freight. Hopefully there's one close by. That should be all we need. It's really not gonna be that hard. It's just popping up this counterweight right here, loosening up the bolts, taking the plate out, swapping it out for the new one, and that way we don't have a coolant leak anymore. Super bummed out. This car needs heat, and you need that port to have the heater core working. I got the old plate out. There she is. Nothing wrong with it other than that cracked right there. So almost like we just keep this and use it for one of my personal projects. I'll just JB weld this port shut. You don't need a heater core on a race car. So I replaced the water seals. I changed the bearing, the stationary gear back onto the new plate, and along with the regulator. I just got to put this plate back on. The whole engine is being held together with the oil pan, the intake, and the turbo manifold. So nothing from here forward is moving. So everything's still tight. The only thing I loosen is this back plate. So the engine's ready to go. I just need to find this nut socket for this nut. I went and borrowed one from down the street, and they're closed now, so I can't borrow it again and tighten it. So that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. But went and replaced it, and as you can see, this one's got way more meat, way more strength than this one. Even though it is pinned, I'll feel a lot better about this plate being on here. So I think that's it for tonight. We're done. We really can't do anything else till tomorrow. So tomorrow we're gonna turn this car on. We haven't heard it in person. All we did was log into the laptop and tune it. But tomorrow we get to hear it for the first time in person. And I gotta go get John from the airport. So, you know, we'll knock this out tomorrow and finish the little stuff. I think a lot of these things are just trivial. The air temp sensor, wastegate plumbing, the fan wiring, I'm pretty sure that was already done. Power steering wiring, base timing, you know, just little stuff, trivial stuff. And me and John can knock that out in a day, no problem. And hopefully we can, you know, do some pulls tomorrow or the next day. Well, no, we're gonna be here for 5 days and we're gonna finish in 2, so. All right, so engine's in, pretty much. We just gotta button up the V-bang clamp over there. Everything's hooked up over here. We just gotta put the spark plug wires and do a first start, right, John?
Yep.
So John came in last night pretty late, so I had already done all the engine stuff yesterday, so he helped me put it together today. All right, so it's time for coolant and oil, and then first start
And poop.
and first start.
Poop.
was a little first start for us. So super hyped. The car sounds sick. It's not too loud. I don't know if it sounds too loud in the videos, but it's actually not too loud at all. There's a slight V-band leak. We're gonna take care of that on the turbo. And we're about to make a list to pretty much get this car drivable. Bleed the clutch, bleed the brakes, put coolant in it, recheck the oil, put the wheels back on. Just address like all the little things. The last 10% takes 90% of the time. So that's usually how it is. So, but everything looks good. Nothing major, no issues. So super, super happy. Crank. So we got a lot done today. We have the coolant lines ran, the plate replaced, everything hooked up, final pretty much. Boost controllers right there, nice and tucked, hidden. Pretty much, we don't have a lot left, just some fluid on the power steering pump.
What we got left is...
I mean, it looks like a long list, honestly, but...
timing, amount of battery, and then check a bunch of the wiring because it's not working. So the fans might not be coming on, the power steering's not coming on.
Yeah, so a lot of little stuff settings. So it looks like tomorrow we're mainly gonna be doing a lot of tuning and a lot of checking on the ECU and verifying everything is correct, everything's right. When we left, this didn't have a harness, now it does, so we just gotta make sure everything is 100%. So we also left TJ a little surprise. Oh yeah, there it is. He said he'll be offended if we did not leave a drawing, yeah. So pretty much, and then we did the pulley right here. I think one day will work, and that's it. I mean, it's a running car right now, so we just gotta put some coolant in it. We can't find one of these caps, so we haven't put any coolant in it yet. And tomorrow we should be able to get some rollers and start doing some street tuning, and super excited about that. All right, guys, so we got everything buttoned up, final. So the only thing that's left is putting the bumper back on, which we'll do that later. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive the car off the lift, put it outside, let it warm up, let it break in some, and then we can start doing some street tuning. So let me hop in real quick, take a look at the map, and address any issues, make sure the fans work, make sure everything works. What? That's it? Yo, it sounds sick. We got the car back on the lift. This car came out amazing. So the only thing that we have left to do is we have to drain the tank, calibrate the dash for empty and full, and we'll go on another drive tomorrow, and pretty much that's it until it breaks in and goes to the dyno. That's it for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right, so we're street tuning it right now. We drove it yesterday. Everything seemed fine. This car is on 315s and it's a handful. Right now it's at 9 pounds, I think. So it gets it. All right, we'll do a little second gear rip real quick. Look at the AFRs. Whoa. That felt really good. I think 10 pounds is good right now for pump gas. We don't really want it. This is, you gotta remember, this car's in California. This is 91 octane. It is not the best gas. So this car is going to be on E85. It's on flex fuel, but right now it's just on straight pump gas. So we're gonna turn around, go back to the shop.
That's what I was doing yesterday.
Oh, okay. So we found out what it is. It's actually hitting launch control because we're not going over the mile per hour that is told. Yeah, that's launch control.
Gonna put in second gear.
So we're gonna change the launch control and bring it down a bit on mile per hour because it's on a GPS, and I think that's the issue.
Gonna put in a second gear and
this car rips. All right, we're gonna go back to the shop. DJ's gonna take it out to a test drive after we did the street tuning, and let's see what his reaction is when he gets back. Yo, I was on my phone and I heard it. It sounded so fucking crazy. Dude, when you got on it.
sounds like a exotic.
Dude, it sounds so crazy. This is probably my favorite sounding 20B ever.
She's slowly turning into. So, dude, the drivability is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we were just even just. Because, you know, like on super high horsepower cars, especially with big turbos, in first gear, like if you kind of just like give it 20% throttle and roll out RPM, sometimes you get a little bit of.
It's like when it's too much. It's like it takes the joy out of it.
Yeah.
This still
so
keeps.
silky. It feels NA if you just don't even like really roll into it. It's just like you. It's so smooth.
I think that's the. This is like, since this was a production engine, it's so smooth. It's got primaries, secondaries, versus like a four rotor that doesn't. You know, this is like the big block of rotaries right here.